Hello traders, welcome to today's Bitcoin, crypto, SPX technical analysis video. I hope you are having a good week trading so far, and yeah, I just wanted to do a brief video once again today just to cover some of the recent price action and just to give some of my thoughts on where I believe we could be headed over the coming days. Now, I do have quite a strong feeling about when we are likely to see a break from this range. I do think it's going to be soon. I'm not necessarily looking at it today, but there's a couple of key things I'm looking at to determine when we can time this move, when to know to basically get out of those small little scalpy positions. Make sure you're not overexposed, because I don't have a strong bias of which way we're going to head, but I do have an idea of roughly when potentially we might be able to see a move out of the month-long range that we've been in for a month. So yeah, as usual, let's go over some of the recent price action, and we can take it from there and then go into some of my thoughts for today going into the New York session, which opens in about an hour's time. So yesterday, okay, a really weird day of price action. So I do want to just go into here, and basically what we were looking at during yesterday's New York session, we did do the New York trading room, was for us to get a move up into this golden pocket region. We had a little order block here. We would have come back in and filled this gap, this kind of void of liquidity that we have here. And also what we did have on that day was our previous day value area high. Now, this was slightly different depending on what exchange you're looking at. I personally had it at 30,950. I liked the confluence that we had around that region. I liked that we had this little 5-minute OB. I liked that it came up for all you smart money guys. It came up into this fair value gap up at the top here. And I liked that it was close enough to this daily level so that if I was looking for a short and we did get continuation, you could basically take this in two stages and look for a short lower. Or to take price down lower again, because that was my overall bias for the day, is that we would trend up at the start of the session and then end up reversing partway through, which is kind of what we did, but it never really reached the targets, and we never quite got that move up to really hit those levels that we wanted to. However, there were a couple of decent trades to be had a little bit later on in the day. So the other main thing that I was looking at during yesterday's session was the session NPOC. So if we come across to this chart here, this is my session TPO chart. Okay, and you can see here it's split into your Asia session, your London session, USA session, close session, Asia, London, USA close, Asia, London, going into USA in a little bit. And then obviously we'll get our close today. And the way that I trade this, again, I briefly explained this on yesterday's live stream, was I like to trade session to session. So most often I'll be looking at the previous New York session, the USA session, and I will be trading those together, almost basically just ignoring what has happened previously. And what we could see there is we did have this nice session NPOC that was coming in at that 29,880 region, which is exactly where we dropped down into towards the end of the New York session yesterday. So you can see as we had this fairly large initial balance with that move up to take out the liquidity, take out the London highs, come back into basically the region of not single prints, but that region that we had during the Asia session, the value area high of that area, that there was confluence with that. Unfortunately, didn't get quite as high as we wanted it to get that short position, but then we saw that retrace that came just into this NPOC, this session NPOC, before getting a relatively decent bounce off of that. I was taking profit at that stage at VWAP, and that was up here, and then we also had a nice little bounce that, again, we were looking at during the stream as we did get this move up just to take out the highs from the basically wherever we were. I can't remember exactly, but there was a take profit that I took during the stream yesterday before obviously coming back down into this region of support that we have here at that 30,200 kind of region, which is just a nice high volume node for the entire range. And that's going to lead me on to something that I'm looking at for this range on the bigger picture. That 30,200 level is being quite significant, but we'll come to that in just a minute. So that was the little trade we had there. And also the other thing that we did have at that moment in time was, if anyone follows my Twitter, and you were to have a look on Twitter, then again, we did come up into, or we came into here, this daily level and golden pocket region. Again, what do you have within this region? You do have this gap, this liquidity, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, down at these lows that we did come in, and price ran into it, doing those like 3 little spikes into support before getting a nice reaction of that. And once again, what is price doing? We're seeing this little bit of absorption just below these lows after taking out some local lows. We're getting that absorption once again. I wonder if VWAP is here. It is just below. So we are getting that slight bit of absorption on the S&P futures. That would suggest that maybe we are looking for a little bit of a bounce coming into the New York session, as again, we're looking at this as just gone 1 p.m. UK time, so 1.5 hours from now we're going to get the New York Open. What I would expect to happen right now is we're probably going to see a move up into back into kind of this region, this 41, 32 kind of area, before potentially getting another retrace, and we'll see what happens from there. But that's mainly what I'm looking for going into the session after having just taken out these lows here. And on Bitcoin as well, we can see that we've just put in a nice little low after running below VWAP briefly. We've had a decent little reaction off of our current day value area low as well here. So we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. I don't think it's anything too significant right now. I've literally just gone from talking about yesterday's price action into what's happening at the moment. So apologies for the little random segue into that. I might go back to looking at yesterday's price action, although I think I've probably covered everything that I wanted to anyway. So yeah, let's just continue on with today then. So that was what we had yesterday, the little session MPOC bounce and the just about missed golden pocket value at previous day value area high short. That was what I was looking to take. So where are we at the moment? Okay, let's just do a local. Ooh, we don't want to do it from there. We want to get this low. That's a nice little low on here. Oh my god, I keep doing it. What do we have? There's a little bit of confluence. Okay, so we do have our current day value area low here. Is that going to line up on TradingView? It is. So if we do bring on the session profile, you can see our current day value area low just sitting where we are getting this bounce at the moment, within that golden pocket region. Once again, what is it doing that SPX has also done on the futures is we have come into take out some local lows, hit some stop losses, and we have had a reaction from that. So in a minute, I'll just go over and we'll have a quick look at the order flow and see if there was anything down at this low that could have given you a bit more indication that this was likely to get a bounce. But from a technical perspective, again, what do you have? A nice little impulsive move up that had been tested once. You come in to take those lows, to take those stops from people who had been maybe late into this move. Running it back down, I would imagine that we're seeing a decline in open interest on the way down here, and then you've got a pretty decent reaction off of that. So again, very similar to what we have seen on the SPX, is that we have had this bounce. We do have to be aware that VWAP is currently above on Bitcoin, whereas it is below on the SPX. So if we are going to move up into that, then that would be a clear take profit level for anyone who has taken along from this low here. However, if we can reclaim that, I do think that we've got a pretty decent opportunity of getting back up into these highs, where once again, what are you going to be looking at? Some confluence up there. It is going to be the same kind of region. You have your little block up here. You've got a previous order block that was there. You're coming back up to these range highs. If you turn on, oh no, I've just turned off the session volume. Let's put that back on the chart again, and that takes you back up to your current day POC. So the daily point of control, you do also have daily value area high up there. I don't like how small this is. I'm going to change this to a number of rows, and I'm going to stick it on 200 just so we get a little bit more data to look at. And again, you can see that point of control is roughly around that same region. So let's see what happens. Decent enough confluence here for a bounce. You do have both Bitcoin and the SPX doing a similar thing. From an order flow perspective, what I was saying earlier, you would expect this to be declining open interest, which is what we got. We did actually have some shorts opening into the lows here, so there's a potential that this could be squeezed as this open interest is stabilized, and that mainly being from short positions opening. If we do have a look at the longs, then what has happened to the longs? They've just been steadily declining the whole way down, as people who are late to the move that we had over the morning have been gradually getting stopped out, been getting liquidated on this way down, which has led to that decline in open interest. What we didn't have is any kind of like major excess at the lows. not anyway, not on the BTC USD charts. We didn't really get any excess on the lows there. We didn't really get so much of a spike in volume. It was just a very steady, yeah, okay, we're not going to go any further. It's done everything that it wants to, and we're just going to have a little bit of a relief rally off of that at this stage. If we do go on to the USDT pair, did we see anything more significant on there? No, not really. So we did have, I think we want to go on to a trend rev on here because it's very, very flat price action at the moment. So we want to make sure that we've got plenty of data to look at to trade. Again, declining open interest. Yeah, nothing much going on at the lows, but then you did get a little bit of a reaction on that bounce. So we did have some buying volume coming in soon after. Would that be from some longs opening? So we are getting some longs openings into this. We are also getting those short positions. So it could support a move higher, which is, again, kind of what TradingView is telling us is fairly likely at this stage anyway, but we'll have to see how it goes. You've got to trade the trend. You've got to be aware that VWAP is currently above price. That is acting as resistance. But, yeah, the fact that liquidity has been taken at some local lows, it's done the same thing on the SPX. We are going into the New York session. You would expect that maybe we can just climb back up and find a little bit of a high in which to, even if we are going to move down, have a bit of a bounce here and then go into the New York session, and then we're kind of trading back as usual, back into the middle of the range again. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Nothing too much more to update on this. I'm not going to cover any altcoins because altcoins aren't doing anything. So there really isn't much point in me talking about them. I mean, Ethereum, there is a long position here, but it's kind of nothing at the moment. We are seeing another pullback. So again, we did get that little rejection. Where is VWAP on here? So yeah, there we go. On the USDT pair, you did come back into VWAP. That is why we are seeing that as resistance here. So we had that little bit of absorption around below, and now flipping that potentially into resistance. We do have a little bit lower to go on the USDT pair if we are going to hit that value area low for the day, and also our point of control is right here at that 30,400 level, which is where we were seeing that basically just sideways boring price action earlier. So that is Bitcoin from I guess the lower time frames. If we just turn this off again, what I am looking at on the higher time frames is I am expecting the point of control of this range that we've been in to shift. Okay, so at the moment, what we're looking at here, USDT pair, and if we do flip onto the USD pair, I would be expecting this POC to shift, and that would give us a little bit more higher probability that we're going to see it move outside of this range. I do not think we leave this 30,500 to 30,200 region today until we see this point of control come up to meet price. I do think that we'll see this developing POC just shift up, comes into meet price, and then we can be looking for a move away from that. Realistically, I think that's more likely to happen tomorrow, because we do have inflation data. We've got basically a catalyst for some kind of move in the stock market that would help to trigger something on Bitcoin as well. But yeah, we are mainly, yeah, I do think that we probably end the day settling around this, maybe the daily open, 30,200. It's basically exactly where we are now. Let's see if we can chop around here for slightly longer, build up a little bit of volume within this region, see if that POC for the range can shift, and then we're likely to get a move outside of that. The other thing quickly is just historical volatility. Okay, we know that we've had that decent volatility with all these BARTs that were happening recently. So we can see that it's starting to pick up, and I do think that we're likely to see a bit of a move outside of this little local range that we're in, possibly going into tomorrow. If we were to get a move up from there, then the target for myself is kind of clear. I would be expecting a move up at very least. Okay, your target would be, if we are to hold around here and then we move up, you'd be aiming for the kind of the weekly highs and the monthly open. If we can get beyond that and we can kind of put in a range around here, then I do think 34k is a pretty good target for that. If we were to move down, then I think what we're probably more likely to see is a bit more of a grinding move that takes us down towards these 2021 lows, to take out these lows that we have from the end of May. And also, what would that do? It would come into a larger golden pocket region. So if we move up, what I'm expecting is it to be a little bit more impulsive. So let's see if we can get an impulsive move up that comes up into here, and that would present some good short opportunities. If we move down, I would expect a little bit more grinding, boring, painful price action for a lot of people, in order to, yeah, basically shake people out of the market a lot. So yeah, those are my thoughts. We can see here Bitcoin hasn't really... So yeah, we took out those lows, we bounced back into VWAP. It was a decent little bounce. You could have taken a little scalp long, which is basically all I'm looking for. And now where do we find ourselves? We are back at the daily open. So it's where we would expect price to be, right? So back into the daily open, we have come through this region of confluence, got a little bit of reaction into the daily open. What is the SPX doing on this? I mean, I can just quickly move over onto here. Now we have SPX just moving down below VWAP, and yeah, coming in to fill this impulsive move up that we had from yesterday. Again, if we just do session profile on here, and we could be coming into your current day point of control, that kind of region on here. And if we were to look at this as a larger range, I would expect our POC is going to be somewhere around here anyway. So where do you take it from? Around here? Do we have a point of control here? We do. So we do have the range POC, where price currently is on the SPX. We are still moving down on Bitcoin. So it's getting a little bit heavy, going into the New York session. We'll have to monitor this. Where are we now? Haven't taken a trade today, by the way. Just watching and waiting. Observing so far today. However, I would be, after we've had this move down, looking for potential longs off of this. So yeah, the only trade that I've done today was closing out of the long position that was taken last night. I wasn't able to catch a short again. Annoying. But yeah, we'll see what's happening here. So let's just see if this can hold. Otherwise, where's the target? This isn't the previous day POC. I just put this on for an example earlier on because that was what we were looking for yesterday. But if we are to continue dropping down and we do lose the daily open, then we do have the previous day point of control, which is the NPOC down there at 29,500. So if we are going to get a bit of a dump day to move ourselves outside of this range, then that is what I will be looking at. And that, I guess, would take us back down into the overall range point of control, which would go a little bit against what my previous bias was of us being fairly range bound today and this shifting up. What we could get is a move down. Again, I do think this POC moves before we finish the range. If we do come down into this region, then I think we could find that our point of control moves down. There'll be a lot of people being like, oh my god, we've lost the point of control, we've come into this NPOC, you're bouncing up into it, and then we get a shift around because we've got a very even profile here on the range itself with 3 decent high volume nodes that could, as this progresses, all turn into the point of control when we finally get a move outside of the range. So yeah, a few interesting things have happened during this video. Anything tradable? Not so much. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I've been talking for quite a while, so let's just leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see what happens through the rest of the day. I may potentially do a live stream later on, or watch on Twitter, find my kind of thoughts on what I'm looking for in the market a little bit later on. And yeah, again, just as usual, if there is anybody that is new to the channel that is watching this video for the first time, please do go check out tauruscrypto.com. okay, it is there, you can see the link just there, tauruscrypto.com, where you can find out more about our community. Okay, we're trading Bitcoin price action, SPX, altcoins every single day. And you can find out more about the crew membership, which is where you can basically take part in the trading rooms that I run, the other coaches within the community run. We've got thousands of hours of educational content available there. We've got playbook strategies, which are things that you can use to trade every single day, really nice day trading strategies, and much, much more. And I guess the only other thing that I do want to mention, if I quickly just go over onto, let's just go Bybit. WSOT, is we do have the Bybit World Series of Trading competition starting very soon, and registration will open tomorrow at 10 a.m. Now, anyone who is wanting to take part in this, you can, if you do sign up using our referral link and you are trading in the competition as part of our team, then you will gain a 2-week. You will be able to get a 2-week trial of crew membership that will take you through the first stages of the competition, in order to kind of learn about how we trade this, what it is that we're looking for. Bitcoin's still moving down, and a little bit more. So do be aware of that if you would like to take part in that. Do join the Discord again on at tauruscrypto.com. You can click on the little Discord guy up at the top here, okay, or you can go to the homepage and you can join our free Discord community where there is more announcements about that. So yeah, I am going to wrap this up now. This has been a long video compared to what I would usually do, but Bitcoin is dumping, so I would be looking to take a trade fairly soon. And yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll catch you all later whenever I see you. Cheers, bye.